Okay, we're live, baby. Welcome to another episode of the Scar Nation podcast. I got a special one for y'all today, a super special one. I'm excited for this one. So we got Brad Peterson, we got Bo. I can't never say your last name right, man.
Hey, we'll get to that later.
All right, we got Bo, we got Brian Knight, and we got Tyana in the house. Let me go in here and manually change this shit to public. I don't know why it does it. I still ain't figured that out. Edit privacy, public. Boom. All right, now everybody on Facebook can come in here. We're gonna get some people. All right, so to get into, we're gonna get right into it. Since Brad is right next to me, you can go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, Brad.
I'm Brad, 49 years old, and yeah, I mean, what do you want me to start at?
Sure. Okay. What was your DOC? How long have you been clean at this point?
Okay.
And we can start right there and move on to the next.
Yeah. So, I guess like 18, 19. I mean, I was smoking weed in high school and LSD, and that was pretty much it in high school. Then right out of high school, I went working right in the family business. And during that time, I was getting real bad migraines and shit, like real bad, like losing my vision and stuff at first. So back then, this was like 94, 95, you know, the doctor gave me shit tons of Vicodin, you know, and I was doing that for years, probably like 5 years, but I was functioning. I was working a full-time job, you know, I was doing accounting, you know, I was living life, but I was slowly getting addicted to these pills. And I remember I never had a problem till I started popping them in the morning when I woke up. And then that's when after that, I was like, damn, I'm fucked.
Yeah. But it became a need that you had to have them just to start your day, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I get home from work and I'm like, well, I'm going to work out. I'm going to pop a couple for some energy, you know, and I'd work out. And I mean, I was doing shit like I needed to do. So I didn't think I had a problem, you know, I was like, just going. Well, then that doctor got fired or something. And so then that cut my shit off. And I was like, okay. And I don't know when I got into the oxys, the real oxys.
Yeah.
Well, like the 80s, you know, and the Oxycontin at first, and then all you could get were the 30s, you know, after that. But I was on 30s for a long time, till about 2015, I'd say, right when Oxycontin switched and went to, you know, you couldn't crush them up or snort them.
Yeah, they had to
put that.
Remember that day?
Yeah.
EXPs.
That's kind of when the switch to heroin happened.
Okay. So,
yeah. OPs. You're right.
Yeah. So throughout this process, did you end up switching from prescription to going to the streets, or did you stay on prescription? Okay.
No, I didn't stay on the prescriptions. I started buying. Well, I was buying a lot of Vicodin on the street too at first. Yeah. And then I found the oxys and I was like, totally switched to oxys. And I only snorted. That's all I did. I snorted it. That was how I did it.
Yeah. Up in there for sure.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got the right side of my nose is ate out from snorting so much.
Dude, I got a hole in mine inside.
Yeah.
Yep. Fucked you up. And I did a lot of cocaine too during the, you know, I was doing coke and, you know,
just a full.
Not all the time, but there'd be little spurts of doing that too.
Yeah. Yeah. You was just a full blown addict, like you know, like myself and so many of us others, just trying to escape from some kind of reality. Really, is it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you said something about a family business. Well, you want to talk about that? Because I think you and Brian might be able to relate on some things.
Yeah, so I got 2 brothers and a twin sister, and we all worked there. My dad was president. So yeah, that's where I worked every day. So there's a lot of different stretches, you know, with that. So I was using the opiates, I think, to cover up some of those stresses or get through, you know, different issues and stuff like that.
Understand that.
So in like 2015, and I worked there for 20 years, and then 2015 I had the option to take a buyout, and of course I was in my full blown addiction, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take, you know, that sounds great. I'm gonna take a buyout and have some money coming in, you know, for years. And I was like, I'm gonna start a lawn business and be on my own. Then I can do the drugs and not have any family members, you know, catching on, or, you know, I could do my own thing finally.
That's
so
crazy. And the addiction was controlling your decisions. I've been there.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
And so like during that time is when heroin slowly started getting the fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
And eventually I just switched over to just all fentanyl. And so 2019 is when I first went to well, actually, no, I take that back. 2015, I tried to get clean, and I went to Michigan. They're like, get clean in 3 days, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing that, dude. It was fucked up. They do like I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's
rapid
like
detox.
Rapid detox.
Yeah.
It cleanses your brain sensors or some shit.
Yeah.
But what it did was it threw you right into immediate withdrawal.
Yep.
And I mean, it was a fucked up experience. Yeah. And I knew I had 25, 30s at home here in Indiana that I was going to get as soon as I got out of that fucking place. And that's exactly what happened. I had gotten an naltrexone shot. Yep. So I couldn't feel shit. But when I got back home, I was fucking snorting them anyway, just to see if I could. But I mean, it took like 30 days. But so that was the first time. And then 2019, I was like, all right, I want to, you know, I had to, you know, my family forced me back in 2019. And at first, you know, I'm like, all right, I'll do the 30 days. And so I was in a SLP living in an apartment with like 4 other dudes. And I'd done all the classes, and it was the night before I was going to go home after the 30-day completion. Mm-hmm. And my roommate pulled out a plate of heroin. So I had relapsed before I even got home.
Damn.
So that was the first time. So between there and 2022, I had been to rehab 7 times.
Wow.
And different stints, you know, doing residential for 2 weeks. I did the quick detox like twice, IOPs, you know, all the shit, meetings.
Yeah.
But trying to think, let's see. So it took 7 times, and then a couple of those times, my roommate that had pulled out that heroin, he OD'd and died. And that one really hit me. But probably like the 5th time, I forget, it was 5th or 6th time when I was in that residential for 3 weeks. Me and this dude were in there, and it's weird. Like, it's weird when you're in there with other addicts. If you're not around the right minded addict, mm-hmm. It's not going to work. Like, this guy I was with, he was a cool dude, and all he said was, "Oh, my dude always gets fire shit," and that stuck in my head all through the 3 weeks. So we both got out that same day, and we had it all planned. We were going to go get some fentanyl, like a fucking 8-ball, or not an 8-ball, like a gram or something, and split it.
Yeah.
Well, he shot up. Like, that's how he did it. And we were both starting IOP the next morning. And I remember he had no cash, so I gave him the cash. He went and bought it, and I busted off some for him. And then I dropped him off at, he was at SLP that time. I was at home on that time. And then, so the next morning we went to IOP, and he didn't show up. He OD'd and died in that apartment that night.
Damn.
Yep.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah. So that one really fucking hit me.
Mhm.
Because he died, I think, because he shoots up and I snort it. I
Yeah.
think there is a little difference. I mean, it's all bad, but you know, people that shoot up, they're fucking dropping like that, no matter
Yeah,
what.
you're getting every
Yeah.
bit of it all at once.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the last time I went to rehab was March 8th, 2022. And then I did went to a lodge for a whole month. And I stayed clean. I had over 2 years this past March 8th. Still going.
Damn, that's awesome, man. What do you think it was? Do you think it was your friend overdosing that kind of made you have that aha moment, or what?
I wouldn't say it was an aha moment. I think it was just the experiences, everything leading up to that. And by then, I really wanted to fucking get clean. Like I knew I needed to get off. Oh, I'll tell you my aha moment now that you say that.
Yeah.
So I had my same dealer. I've known this dude 20 years. And I mean, I consider him a friend, but he's a fucking drug dealer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I was getting the 8-ball of Fetty from him at a gas station, and he looked at me and he's like, dude, how are you doing all this shit? Because I had 5 people fall out on this same shit, and one OD'd and died. And I was like, oh no, dude, I'm good. I can, my tolerance is high. I can handle this shit. And then I was driving home right after I got that, and I was fucking thinking about what he said to me. Like, this drug dealer, big time drug dealer, is asking me, how am I still alive dude, I was doing an 8-ball in 3 days of Fetty at my worst.
You were bad off.
I was bad off. So I knew. I was like, as soon as I got home that same night, I called the rehab place, set up. I'm like, I need to come in Monday or Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And or that's when they could get me in. And so by then I was fed. I was sick and tired. I was like, I'm gonna do everything they tell me to do. I'm gonna do it. And they had always wanted me to start Suboxone, and I was like, no, fuck that. Why would I do Suboxone? Be hooked on that when I'll just do Fetty. Why would I ever do Suboxone?
Yeah.
But the fact that the doctors they're like, you need to do Suboxone. I'm like, so I was open to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, I'll try it. I got 2 years after a 20, since I was basically 18 to 47, complete addict. You know.
That's what's up. So the Suboxone is what helped you stay off of everything for 2 years?
Yes.
That's awesome, man.
Because I knew I was on Suboxone. I knew I couldn't do shit. Like, I'd get sick or whatever happens if you do it. You know, get thrown into withdrawal so I just never even fucked with it. I'm like, that was my mindset. I can't do the shit. I'm on Suboxone.
It works though. It really does.
It does work.
There's people that MAT has saved a lot of people's lives. That's why I advocate for it too. Even though I didn't do it, I do understand that, because you just said something. Why not just do Fetty and do? There's a big difference. You know, you're not going to overdose and die on Suboxone.
Right, exactly.
You can get on a plan. You're not going to waste all your money on it. There's a lot of benefits to it. And then later on, you know, when you get ready and you know you think you're ready, you come off of it. You got to be careful doing that too, though.
Yeah. So the Suboxone. So I've been on Suboxone 2 years, and I was never on a high dose. I just took a strip every night. They'd prescribe me 2 strips a day, and I never even took the 2. I just always kept it at 1. And my doctor cut that dose in half a week ago. So I'm taking like 4 milligrams a day. But the plan is to cut that to 2, and then once I'm on 2, you know, I've been reading on these is it Brixcotti shots?
Yeah.
And I heard that might be better than the Sublocade as far as helping you get off the Suboxone without the withdrawal shit.
Yeah.
So that's the plan for me anyway. You know, it helped me. It helped me get clean. I got 2 years. and I'm in my mindset is, I know my mindset right now, and I would never go back to that shit. So I feel getting off the Suboxone isn't going to fuck with my head. Like, oh shit, I'm off Suboxone, I'm going to go get fucked up.
Yeah,
Not at all. Because I'm in the right frame. I've got 2 years, man. My fucking brain's healed. You know what I mean? You don't have that addict thinking anymore.
right. Yeah, you're out of the streets. You're out of. You got different habits now.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
know, I got
help
a
you.
whole fucking new life, you know, and it's fucking great.
That's going to help you a lot when you do decide to come off. Just be sure to stay active in the community, man, the Scar Nation community, and let us know
Oh,
how it's going.
hey, that's the other thing I want to say. Since I've never done a live, and to have this opportunity, I got to give it out for obviously Josh, but Benjamin Lerner and Matt Keegan.
For sure.
You three guys, telling you.
Killing it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to
Fuck
Ben
yeah.
and Matt Keegan. If you ain't following them, go follow them, because if you get value out of my content, you're also going to get value out of theirs.
Yeah.
So,
You guys are fucking great, because when I first, in 2019, when I first was getting clean, this shit wasn't around where you could get on Facebook or TikTok and find your content. There was no content. Like, you're stuck in your head on your own, figure it out on your own. Well, now look what this platform's done.
it's amazing, dude. I see there's so
It
much
is.
value in this.
That's
And
why I'm so.
You're one of the few people that support the way you do and actually see the value in it, man. I feel like there's so much value in what we do, but not everybody.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to say this. That's why I support you guys so heavily, because I feel it, dude. It fucking helps me every fucking day.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, man, because there's not a whole lot of people out there like you. But you're active, man. We notice you. I think all three of us notice how active you are in the community. I think it's an awesome thing. We're blessed to have you, just the same way you're blessed to have us.
Yeah.
And I think I can speak for everybody when I say that.
Sure can.
Amen.
Yep.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you for sharing that. I think
Yeah, thanks, Brett.
for sure
Yep.
you helped somebody with that one. So let's move
100%.
on to Bo.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bo. I guess we'll take it back. I'm 35 years old now. I ain't real good with dates. You know, it just ain't my thing, keeping up with dates. So yesterday when T hit me up, she asked if I wanted to get on. I had to sit down and really start going through like the whole process from when everything started. So I'm somewhat freshened up on, you know, my path that I chose to take. But it kind of goes back as for me, pretty much a child. You know, I had a single mom. She raised us. You know, she kept food in her stomach. She did the best she could. But we went through a little bit of trauma, you know, and I kind of carried that through my school years, kind of holding on to that stuff, you know, I pretty much consider myself a chameleon. You know, I tried to fit into every situation I was put in, you know, to try to make everybody think that, you know, on the outside I look great, but on the inside, you know, I had some mental stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of led into getting with a group of people, you know, what I consider my school friends. And we kind of started, I mean, it seemed like everybody does, kind of started smoking the weed. Well, then weed rolled into, well, shit, if I'm smoking it, let me start selling it, you know. And to me, that kind of made me feel like a little more important of a person. So I started selling weed, and then we did it for a good amount of time. And then, you know, cocaine rolled onto the scene. Then that took me to that next level. You know, we started off, you know, once a week type deal, you know, on the weekends, going to parties, hanging out, and then that snowballed into damn near a daily thing. You know, you go on a pretty good run, then you take a break for a day or two, and then get fed up, and then you know that pattern just kept going and going, and then it was shortly after the cocaine kind of hit the scene. I mean, Brad, man, you had a lot of the same patterns that I hit. You know, OxyContins came into play. You know, they got real big. And to me, the opiates is what I thought filled that void in my life. You know, it only filled it because it numbed the living shit out of me. Like
Exactly.
all my thoughts, everything was just, you know, I thought, hey, I'm king shit, feeling good. You know, can talk to
Any
anybody.
kind of problems you're going through is just, it's okay. It becomes okay. Like,
Yeah, everything's good. And when it ain't, you do more. You know what I mean? You just keep numbing yourself out over and over and over.
Yeah.
So the oxys, we had to, run on the oxys for quite a while, and then you do something so long, you start to hit that threshold where you gotta move up to the next level. So then heroin came into my life. I don't know exactly when. Sure, I was around a party, something happened. I'm like, yeah, it got broke out. I'm a full blown addict. You put something in front of me and something in my brain. I want to ease it, so I'm gonna take it and see what it does. So heroin started with snorting it, and it led into straight IV use. I got real bad on it. It was no longer a party. It wasn't a want no more. It was a need.
Yeah.
You got to have it. Wake up, go to sleep. So I did that for a 2-year run, man. It got bad. And during that time, I got put on probation. Got to messing around. We had a bright idea, start making up some counterfeit money. Try to feed.
Ooh.
Yeah, feed the addiction. So we'd take these bills. Spread them at like fairs, cash your 20 in, get a little money back, so that's kind of how we fed it. Well, that shit catches up to you. You can only do that so long. So I got put on probation, during my drug use, and it didn't stop me. It was I was too far gone at that point for some probation to hold me back. So I kept pushing buttons, and then he finally sent me off to it was a 60-day. I call it it's pretty much a damn party center. It was all guys. So we made the best of it. You get stuck somewhere as you start to bullshit, and you make time go by. So I didn't really take it serious recovery wise. As soon as I got out, went right back to the same lifestyle. Just kept doing what I was doing. And then that kind of course, got out of control again. So I think it got to a point where I didn't want to do it no more. So I finally broke down, reached out to my mom. She did her damnedest to get me in somewhere. So I got sent off to rehab for the first time. Did some days there, and then I backed it up with another 30 days at a place called Gilmore here in Michigan. I was feeling good because I was clean, but I never been able to feed into the one way fits all. I've been stubborn my whole life. By somebody trying to tell me you got to do this step and that step and this step and that step. Personally, I couldn't lock in on that. So it was it just wasn't for me. I know it saved millions of people in this world, but
right, but everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different, Josh. So we got out. I did pretty good. I stayed on a pretty good lifestyle for quite some time. Met my wife, and then you go for a little bit of time, and then you start getting that cockiness, like, well, shit, if I can overcome being that strung out, doing it every now and then ain't gonna affect nothing.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, wrong. That ain't right, is it? So finding that out. So we, with my now wife, it wasn't a consistent thing. It was here or there, and then it got to the point where I wound up relapsing pretty bad. Went down to where I knew to get some heroin.
To play with fire, you gonna start a forest fire.
You found it
every time.
We burnt the woods down this time, man. So I got all the way to where I was getting it from, and of course the guy that was doing it, it was 2.5 years down the road, but for some reason I can't remember fucking dates to save my life, but I can remember this dude's cell phone number. Like it just popped right in my head. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll try and call him and see if he's still in the game. Call him, of course he is. So I make the trip out there. So we go cop. I can't remember even what I got at that point. We done cop some, and I was off it for a while. Then I didn't snort it. I went right back to the IV. Stuck myself. I didn't make it probably 30 minutes down the road. Started nodding out. It was ears started ringing. It was a bad experience. So I found my way to actually it was a McDonald's parking lot. Nodded out. Didn't remember, or when I woke up, didn't remember where the fuck I was, how I got there. And then my dumb ass, I still had more. So got to finish it at that point. So somehow I made it from where I was at to a place called Kalamazoo. You know, it's a 30-minute drive, just nodding out, no idea what the fuck's going on. Ears are ringing, you know, and I wind up nodding out so bad, wind up smashing into a fucking pole. So it hit the pole. I shouldn't even be here, guys. I mean, I should be long gone. So this cop that was first responder got to me. I was blue, didn't have a heartbeat. You know, I was gone. So he started CPR right there. You know, he brought life back to me is what he did. You know, if he was maybe 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, 2 seconds later, you know, I ain't here having this conversation.
You had nodded out, or you overdosed behind the wheel?
I overdosed, man. I truly believe I overdosed, and that's what sent me into that telephone pole is what I wind up hitting.
Yeah.
So he brought me back to life, you know, and I don't even know if I even ever told anybody. You know, that's how fucked up the drugs can take over people, you know. So
Yeah.
so I died, you know. I was gone. I was in the hospital, you know, all these feelings running through my head. I had to go back to that impound because I had some personal stuff. The car was fucking totaled. I had to go back to the impound to get my personal stuff out. And something reminded me that I had one more little bag down in that door.
Damn.
My dad, yeah, you know what I mean? That's how fucked up addiction is, guys. I mean, it's not, it gets in your brain and it takes over.
Takes over your frontal lobe. Your decision making is very impulsive.
It's gone. So I grabbed that small little sack. I mean, it wasn't nothing, guys. You know what I mean? Compared to what I was doing, it wasn't nothing. But the fact that you get in that kind of accident, that kind of trauma, and then you're still gonna fuck around and do that last little bit that you had. So I did it, and that was the last day. That day I got that was the last day I ever did heroin. I'm like, you know, I got to do something different. So I got my life on track. You know, I went to college. Married my wife. We bought our first house. You know, got that white picket fence surrounding me. You know, living a pretty much beautiful life. You know, had my first kid, and then you start playing with that fire again. You know, you start thinking your confidence is up. You know, you think that you ain't ever gonna go down that path again. So, you know, when I never dealt with my emotions. You know, I always fronted. You know what I'm feeling on the inside, I'm never gonna let you guys know at 100%. So I constantly, you know, battling my own thoughts. You know, never really addressing them. So I started playing around again. This last run, I've been clean since December 20th of last year. So I mean, I haven't got that much time under my belt. I've had long runs of being clean, but here recently, I'm only a couple months into this time. But this past time, kind of what got me where I'm at now, being loud with it. Started playing with Vicodin, thinking, hey, it's just Vicodin. You know, you start playing that psychological game with yourself, like
making excuses in your mind. Well, I can do it because
you're not shooting up.
Yeah, you ain't shooting up. You know, and I did it for it's fucked up. You know, we can laugh about it now that we're clean, but
I understand.
It's a fucked up thought process. Yeah. So I maintained. You know, what I mean, like I went to work every day. I came home. You know, I was going through the motions, but I wasn't mentally present. You know, I wasn't there for my kids. I wasn't there for my wife. Truly, I wasn't on my grind trying to better everything. And it was because none of them knew. You know, my wife knew something was wrong. You know, and we can all come up with a million excuses of what's wrong. You know, without putting the whole truth out. So I started taking these Vicodin, and then it snowballed. It was going for a couple of weeks to, you know, five more weeks, 15 more weeks, 20 more weeks. So I got all the way up to, you know, I was taking anywhere from 12 to 14, 15, you know, a day at certain times. And at that point, I mean, even though it's Vicodin, you know, I mean, you're gone. You know, mentally you're addicted. You know, you need it in the morning, you're not feeling right, going to bed, you think you need it so you can get a full night's sleep.
Yeah.
So that kind of led into this last run with the Vicodin, and man, I hit rock bottom. Like it was to the point where Vicodin wasn't cutting it no more. So what do I know? We're going down to the north side. We're gonna go see if we can, level up. So I cruised the north side, man. You know, I was calling people that I thought might know somebody. It got as bad as stopping to ask bums. I ain't calling them bums because they got there for a reason. You know, they're
I've
struggling.
done that. I've done that.
They're struggling with something. So I'll stop and talk to them. By the grace of God, man, nothing came through that night. Because we wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on a whole different path. But yeah, nothing came through. It would have been anything. They could have offered me meth. You know what I mean? At that point, when your brain gets racing so fast, it could have been anything. It didn't have to be a certain drug. I was just looking to numb that brain. So I was able to actually, that was my rock bottom right there. Like, I got a family at home. I got, I got a beautiful life. It was hit rock bottom, and it dawned on me like I gotta make a change. I gotta do something. Like I gotta get past this lifestyle. So the only thing I've never done was really address me. Every other time it was go through the motions, really never look within. Try to figure out what the fuck's going on with me. Why am I trying to numb shit away all the time? So here on this past one, I'm all about me. I'm started some counseling. Being vocal with counselor. Went in, did a mental evaluation. Figured out I got some crazy anxiety shit going on. On top of that with some depression. So those two together, your anxiety goes up and you start feeling depressed, and then it just, you just snowball. So
Yeah.
at this point, I'm, I got in church, so I'm doing stuff that I've never done. Like that's how bad I want it. You hit a point where lying to yourself, just that shit don't work no more. You gotta dig deep, and you gotta figure out why you're doing it. It's past traumas. It's your own mental state. So you just gotta really lock in to figure out what the fuck is wrong with you. To be able to start to build off it. So that's where I'm at, guys. That's I'll let somebody else take over, but yeah, we could go all day with the fuck ups.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing. So I got a few questions though.
Go ahead, man.
Are you on any kind of medication right now to manage, or are you just completely off everything?
No, so they put me on some Prozac. So I mean, I'm just being upfront with everybody. So even like the doctor, like I laid it out to her. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with these addiction issues. Highly addictive personality. So we went through a list of stuff, just to make sure I didn't get placed on something that I become, relying on again.
Right.
So Prozac is what they got me on, and it takes the edge away. I mean, I won't even lie to you. Like, I'm not a big fan of, taking medicine like that. Just because when I take medicine in my brain, I want a feeling from it. You know what I mean? I want it to give me something back. Unfortunately, but this Prozac, it really does, man. It takes the highs away, and then it takes the lows away. So you don't get as high, I guess, in life, and you don't get to that very bottom low that you typically would. So it kind of hovers you right in the middle. It feels like. But Well, go ahead, Josh.
It's working for you, basically.
It seems to be working, man. It ain't something long term. I think all this shit, you got to dig within. I don't think there ain't no medicine in this world to fix you. You got to come to reality and really get to know yourself. Stop hiding from yourself and pretend shit ain't wrong. We all got issues. You just can't hide from it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're addressing your problems and dealing with them the best way you can, and that's all we can do is just, y'all know what I preach on my platform, just improvement, man. If you're just moving in the right direction, I don't give a shit how you're doing it. If you coming from the streets with a needle in your arm, and now you got a job and structure, and you're on MAT, I'm not one of these people that's going to be like, well, you just traded one drug. No, motherfucker, you saved your life with this medication. I can't stand that traded one for another shit. Like, it's just so shallow to say something like that. You don't even Yeah, you traded a fucked up life for a better one. If you want to talk about trading something,
Sure.
so
and no, Josh, I mean, we'll back it up with, and I'll let the other guys take over. But I mean, that's why Scar Nation, man, it's right here. Like,
I love it.
You know what I mean? I've been in the meetings, I've been this, you know, and Scar Nation, we don't give a fuck how you get there. You know what I mean? Get on board. Let's get it. No matter what it's gonna take.
Just
what road you're on? Let's go. Let's get
stay
it.
consistent and recover, man.
Man, so
Sure.
I was at my lowest too, Josh. I was at my lowest, man. I remember sitting in my garage, and I was doing the bunny trail shit, looking at my phone, and Josh's videos popped up. I'm like, man, this dude just seemed like he's just putting it out there for what it is. There ain't no fucking sugarcoating it, you know. And I went back from day
that realness.
That realness, you know what I mean? Like, you can't bullshit this stuff and expect that you're gonna get somewhere. It ain't gonna work for you. You know, you just gotta be real with it and move on, but or try to move on, you know, best you can. But man, Josh, I just want to say thanks for real, man. As this community, where it's going, where it's heading. I mean, T, Brad, I mean, even the other folks, you know, that every day they're posting stuff, and it's touching somebody in this world. You know, just because you might not get 1,000 likes on it, you know, you might get one or two. You're touching somebody, so be loud with it.
Yeah, every time I make a post or a video, I have that intention. Like, man, this is gonna hit somebody's phone and could potentially save their life, man. I've literally had people message me and tell me, man, I was thinking about ending it, and then I seen your video or your post, and it just completely changed my. So I have that in mind every time I upload a video, every time I make a post, anytime I go live. I'm like, hey, man, we're out here saving lives with this. So that's how I look at it, and I'm proud of you, Bo. I'm just as happy to have you as you are me. Just like I said, told Brad. But let's move on to Brian, man.
Hello, all. My name's Brian Knight, single male, Mississippi. Everybody's got a story. Here's mine. Whether it saves one person or 1,000 or 10,000, just hear me out here. First of all, I want to thank Josh and all Scar Nation, Tyana, Brad, Bo, every one of y'all. Thank y'all a lot. Like, I'm not a long timer of Scar Nation. I guess my phone heard me talking to myself or God once, because one day it slid me on his live, and it's for a good reason. So I'm pretty fresh here. My DOC was opioids, and I'm just a normal guy, man. I've worked in the oil field my whole adult life, and actually own a local restaurant here that does very well. But no, I played sports and hunted and fished, man. When I was young. I really didn't get in a lot of trouble. Not, drink a few beers, hee ha ha. I didn't smoke marijuana when I was in my 20s, and I didn't like it. Like, ugh. So, just wasn't every one of them, man. But on up in life, I've just had some silly things happen, and surgeries wise, like broke my foot one time. I had to have a colon resection. Just my gallbladder removed, shoulder surgery, just stuff from working. And, of course, they put you on opioids in. And I'll never forget the first time they give me Dilaudid. I thought it was the best feeling in the world through the IV. I'm like, holy hell, what is this? And, no, I never thought it would be me, though, and I never thought it'd be a problem. And I'm telling you, one pill can turn into several. Yep. In my 20s, I got my wisdom teeth cut out. I remember they sent me home with 20 lower tabs. I took one, got so sick, couldn't do anything. Called the dentist, like, man, I can't. He's like, you got to eat. I said, you just cut all my wisdom teeth out. I can't eat. And I throwed them away. Like, I didn't like it. Next time I got them, it's real bad. But I don't know. I guess your body changes. I started liking them. And there for a year, went on like from taking one Percocet a day, no more than two. This is God's honest truth. In a year's time, that increases immensely. As people know, I never would have dreamed it. You know, I've heard of people doing that kind of stuff. I'm like, ain't no way. Well, it's true. It's just a vicious cycle, you know. My back was hurting. My neck hurts. Hey, let's take a perk. Take one. Man, I feel better. I even feel like I feel so much better. I think I'm even doing my job better. Like I can get around better, man. It's just all tricks, brother and sisters. It's tricks. I promise to God, it's just tricks. It just, but it's crazy what it can make you your own self believe. And you go from that to the next thing you have done, you're going on the streets buying. And fentanyl is horrible. It's here in my small hometown. I was naive to think, man, I don't think it's here. It's here everywhere. People are dying from it left and right. It's sad. But I mean, expensive. It consumed me. I'm telling you, my story's vanilla. I went from just a normal old guy. My back hurts, my neck hurts, blah blah blah. Let's take one. Let's take two. Let's take three, and it never quit. It ended up. It consumed my whole life. It done got to the point where all I would do was stay home by myself, and that's all I wanted to do. And literally controlled me. Where it dictated everything I did for a while. It really did. Like, I couldn't make no plans unless it was okay with the pills. You know, that's just the way it was. I mean, and I don't know when it started becoming a problem, but once it did, it was too late for me to say, "Oh, I've got to quit and just stop this." No, it's too late. Then I know people say, "Well, I'm gonna stop tomorrow or next week or 2 weeks." It don't. And I have a daughter that I think the world of too, and it's like, I feel such an idiot now. But it don't matter, man. But I just want anybody wants to talk to me, they're welcome to. Like, you ain't gotta be embarrassed.
Hey, we're proud of you, brother, man. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
100%. Couldn't be more proud.
Absolutely.
So I think Brian is probably the freshest in recovery on the panel.
319.
So he's very fresh. Like, what do you got? 2 weeks right now?
Tuesday will be 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Boy.
Yeah.
Glad you're here, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, if you want to go follow Brian, show him some support. He needs it right now more than anything. Maybe somebody watching this is in the same boat. Maybe you're 3 weeks clean and you need somebody to, kind of talk to, and y'all reconcile each other.
It don't matter if it's 3 hours. Just start.
3 hours, right. Because you relate to people going through similar situations.
Yeah, it sucks. It's hard. I had 2 good friends come stay with me. I made up my mind. And I said, I got to. I'm going to die, all the fentanyl on the streets and everything else. And I feel like I'm indebted to them for life, but I'd do it again. Just to quit.
I promise you, man, it gets better, man. I promise you.
It does get better.
I promise you, man.
Sure does.
One day at a time.
It sure does get better. So how would you, since you're so fresh, I just got to ask you, how do you feel right now? Like, I know you still have cravings.
No, yeah, for sure. And, I don't know if they ever go away.
It will. It goes away to a point to where it don't. I can tell you this for a fact. As long as you kind of follow what I say and get your mind busy and focus on routines and fill your life with more stuff that keeps your mind busy, it gets to the point where you just don't really think about it no more. You're too worried about what you got to do for the day. And you're always gonna have that occasional damn. It would feel good to get high right now. You know what I'm saying? But you don't do it. You're so strong in your recovery. You're just like, fuck that. I'm good. I'll just go to sleep or something. Like, or eat some food. You know,
That's why
coping mechanisms. I just put a video out about coping mechanisms, and y'all should go watch that after the thing. But you know, there's coping mechanisms that you get, but those cravings definitely go away.
Yeah. My head still feels a little foggy. Like I almost feel like I'm hungover from alcohol, but my stomach doesn't hurt. It's like my head's foggy, but it seems to be getting better every day. Like every day. But
It will.
Yep, it does.
I mean, it
Yeah,
ain't
for
easy.
sure.
Hell, if it was easy, everybody'd do it.
Everybody
One
do
of
it.
the hardest
You got to
ways.
rewire your brain, rewire what you damage. It takes some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest
Like
things I
Josh
ever
said in
done.
one of what Josh had said in one of his videos. I think after about a year, didn't you say, Josh, that's when you kind of really started feeling good? And
Well, so the timeline for me after the year is when I started feeling more confident and being able to really be happy with what I was accomplishing. Because you know, I had to come back from a bunch of shit. Like I had to fix I've been to jail since I've been doing this social media thing. I've really repaired a bunch of the damage in my life, and I'm still doing it. But that's when I started like being able to be happy with myself.
yeah,
The year, really, honestly, 3 months in is when I felt a big change. That
after that 90-day.
yeah, that 3
Yeah.
months is when I was like, oh yeah, I can really be passionate about the gym and stuff like that now. Like I felt it, I really felt it. So it was that 90-day mark for me when I started feeling good.
I remember that video. You said 8 days. 8 days. You got 8 days. I'd watch that video and I'd say, oh. And about day 4, mine I ain't slept. And I'm
8
like,
days
8
feels like a
days,
lifetime.
8 days, 8 days.
Yeah.
Like watching y'all really helped me. Like I'm competitive, and I guess that because you don't sugarcoat nothing. I mean, I like it raw though. I'm okay with that. I don't want no sugarcoat shit. But
Yeah.
I just just you giving. I mean, all of y'all are like a breath of fresh air, and like, here I'm gonna help you up one step. Come on, I got you. Let's go. Like that's just the way it reminds me of.
We're trying to drag your ass, bud. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hog tie if we gotta.
Hell yeah.
Like everybody's so helpful in this group, and it does. Hell, it very well could have saved my life. I didn't tell a story about I got over them blue M30s. I was a dumbass. I thought it was Roxy's, and I seen to eat the hell out of them. And Josh's video popped up about blue M30s. I'm like, what? I even Googled it. I done got scared. So I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I didn't take one of them. I can tell you that.
You don't want to do those now.
No, it's fentanyl, and I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I was like he said, I must have been under a rock because I didn't know that shit was fentanyl.
That's why I make them occasional counterfeit pill videos, because I think a lot more people know about it now, but I very well think that is a big reason for the overdose rate the way it is.
Yes.
I remember being a kid and being at a party, and what kids do. You got drugs in the party and somebody hands you a pill, and these little counterfeit pills are always going to find their way into somebody's hands that do not have a tolerance. And when that person takes this pill, a lot of times it's lights out, because one pill can't kill. So that's my motivation for making those counterfeit pill videos. They tend to go viral too when I make them. So
it very well could have saved my life, and that's the honest truth, people. Anybody's listening, I promise you. Like people I asked about now, they oh yeah, it's fentanyl. I did not know. I swear, I did not know.
Well, I'm glad I was able to spark that in your mind to go check out and see, because you very well could have died.
Ain't no doubt.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's 1 out of every 7 to 10 of those pills is a fatal dose, and you never know which one it's going to be. People buy them by the handfuls, and you hand your buddy one, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
What was the ratio?
It's like 1 out of every 7 to 10 pills is fatal.
Well,
I'm lucky as hell. I shouldn't be sitting
10.
here.
Yeah, I had 10, so I was definitely going to get one.
Yeah, because I got to the point where I was doing 30 a day, 30 to 40. I think 40 was the most I ever did in one day, but
30s.
Yeah, 30 of the 30s. I was doing that on a daily basis.
Well, I think 8 to 10 was my tops. a day.
Which it don't matter. It's all about a tolerance at the end of the day. Like
Yeah, the tolerance is key.
Yeah.
Well,
What the hell? I'm gonna be honest with you right now, Josh, and I hope this ain't something bad to say, but if I could take one pain pill a day, one, and it really do like it's supposed to, and I live the rest of my life, it'd be a real hard time putting them down then.
Yeah,
Would.
but
It will never stay at that. That's fairy tale. But I'm
and
just
the
saying,
reason the reason for that is because you have the type of brain that really an addict mindset. I think addicts have a certain mindset. We're very impulsive. We share a lot of the same tendencies. Like we want instant gratification right now. We don't want to wait for anything. I know that's the way I am. And the way my mind is, I could never just stick to one. It's going to turn into two and then three, then so on and so forth until that fucking bubble pops again and I hit rock bottom. So
one's good, two's got to be better.
Exactly.
Your brain will tell you that over and over.
Yes, crazy.
over.
And like it can happen to anybody, man. Like as y'all know, I mean, whew, I don't think anybody ever. I don't know anybody ever addicted to drugs didn't say, "I can't believe this happened to me." You know, I damn sure didn't think it would me.
Yeah.
Every time. And I did want to make a distinction. I saw someone in the comments earlier say something about his name was Matt. He said that he's only had one run-in with that fentanyl in the ER, and it's important to note that it's not the same fentanyl. The fentanyl they're putting in those pressed pills, totally different. Totally different. That stuff's made in people's basements, their garages, across the borders, and shipped in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to get a similar reaction out of you, but the hospital is more regulated, and it's an actual medical.
I think it's a different form in the hospital too.
Yeah, you got the hospital kind is just fentanyl, and it's measured in a lab. Like they know exactly how much they're giving you.
I remember when the fentanyl was in strips that you put in your mouth and you like break them open.
Yeah, or patches.
Yeah, the patches. You chew on them and shit.
That's when the fentanyl kind of really started, was with those patches, and then they started cracking down on all the opiates. And this is my theory. When they started cracking down on them opiates, people were still dependent.
Yeah.
Cartels and China, whoever, man, the powers that be, they saw a great opportunity to capitalize on a market that was wide the fuck open. So here comes fentanyl, here comes the counterfeit pills, and everybody just soaked it up like a sponge because everybody was withdrawing. So that's what I think, and then that's
you're exactly right, Josh.
Yeah, they ain't stupid people, man. They're business people, you know.
Yeah, because people like cartels, all that shit, man. People see opportunities to capitalize, just like anything else. It's all business, man. And where there's a market or where there's a demand, there's a market for anything. So
supply and demand.
Yeah, that's where the fentanyl came in. But you're right. The difference between the hospital and the shit in the streets is car fentanyl, which is actually more fatal and stronger than the hospital shit.
Yeah.
I put up a post a few days ago. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it showed a penny with a grain.
Yeah, I seen that.
On each, and that's a fatal dose. So it's scary to think that such a small little grain of fentanyl can take somebody's life.
Yeah.
Well, you said,
especially
Josh,
with someone with no tolerance.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I do want to throw this in here too. Guys, be sure to like the live if you hadn't. If you want to support, you can do it by sending stars if you get value out of this. But check this out. We're just going to break off into the open conversation right now because Tyana, she's already told her story. It's up. If you want to go check that out. It's actually the one that has done the best, honestly, Tyana. You got the record for views.
You did good.
Yeah, this just blows my mind. I appreciate all the support and everybody listening, and hopefully it saved a couple lives here and there. That's really the most important part. I don't care about no shame or none of that because anybody that knows me knows I got it.
Yeah, you're so active in the community too. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, thanks for Tyana. Everything she does for Scar Nation too.
Yeah,
I see it.
Hold the fort down.
Yep.
Big time. She picks up my slack big time on the, responding, whatever, man. You're just all in the community, and it's a huge help.
It's just, I almost was. It's not necessarily my duty. I do it because I enjoy it, but it feels important. Like I'm just compelled to do that.
It is.
I can't even just sit there and watch on a live or nothing like that. If someone asks a question in there, I'm like, wait, no, don't say that. I want to make sure that people have a chance.
Yeah. I got a question for everybody.
Go ahead.
So when you got clean and got some time under your belt, did you start thinking like, damn, I want to help people now? Like, I want to tell them my story and hopefully help somebody? Because that really, like, I feel that, and it got really strong, obviously, being clean.
I'm
like,
right
you
there
want to
with
help other people. It, like, comes natural now.
I'm right there with you, man. It wasn't up until 3 months ago where it hit me in my heart, like, how many people we're losing on a daily basis. I mean, we need more people like us just be loud with it, just talk to people. You don't know whose life you're going to change or what they got going on, because a lot of people, unfortunately, like myself, we stay in our own heads. We're not outgoing, talking to people about our problems.
Yeah, I never was like that.
No, me either, man. So I'm right there with you, man. This past go, I feel like I'm here at this point and the right time, and it's just time to be loud with it.
Yeah, I think it's because we realize that could have been us 6 feet under, and for some reason it wasn't, and we're still here.
Any day, man.
So,
any day.
I was just talking to another group member this morning, and her husband had a family member just OD and die on us. So, my heart goes out to that family in big respects. But I was talking to my cousin and my son. We were headed out this morning, and like I said, 1 out of every 7 to 10 of those pills is fatal. And the most I had done in a day was like 8 to 10. And my stint was shorter than most. It was only a few months, but because I did not OD, like there's a reason I'm still here, and I feel like it almost is like required of me to do something to help somebody else.
Yes.
So I shouldn't be here. So I must be here for a reason.
You are definitely. You was meant to be right here in this community doing what you're doing. That was a good question, Brad, because I could really elaborate on that one. What got me into wanting to help people is honestly losing everything. The whole thing that started this whole social media thing to me is I've always kind of wanted to do something on social media. So when I lost everything to this addiction and just hit rock bottom again, the only thing I had left in my name, actually the phone I'm using right now to do this, was the only iPhone 13 Pro Max. I had that left. It was completely cut off because I wasn't making the payments on it anymore. But I had a camera and I had internet connection. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. And I'm going to start talking about my story because I know what I'm capable of. I know I can come back from this. And this time I'm going to document it on social media. I'm going to talk about my experiences, some of the things I'm going through. And that's exactly what I did. It was uncomfortable at first. It was uncomfortable to talk about it at first. But you know what? I became comfortable with it. I started noticing, hey, I wasn't getting much engagement at first, but I was helping people. Like there was people in my comments telling me, hey, man, this is refreshing. This helps me, man. I'm going to get clean. And just getting them little bit of comments that I was getting, man, it really made me feel good. And it became kind of like a new addiction. And I said, you know what? I can really help people not go through what I went through with this. I'm going to keep this going. And that's what I did. Since then, on YouTube, I went to TikTok, and then I went to Facebook, and then here we are now with a big-ass community called Scar Nation that helps thousands of people. And I'm proud of it, and it's not something I'll ever quit. Yeah, what Bo said. Yeah. It's not something I'll ever quit.
I don't know if y'all can see in those comments, but my son's and my mom's famous, and I'm proud of her. And that right there, that's all the reason in the world I need. He's a teenager now, and he's going to start going to parties, and he's going to start hanging out with people, and I'm not going to be there. And I need him to know these things. He needs to know these things. Everybody's child needs to know these things.
Yeah.
Their friend's not going to on purpose hand them a fatal dose. They're not, whose friend does that?
Right.
You know?
Not the kids to do it. It just happens.
They should have these podcasts in school where they should be.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be
Yeah.
bleeping ours all over the fucking place, but
No doubt.
Hey man, that's one thing I want to do. Like I'm so far from I'm not done with anything. I'm gonna branch from the social media to going out and actually doing speaking engagements that's what I want to do. I want to blow the podcast up even bigger, go as far as we can with the brand, and I want to go to schools and speak, prisons, jails. I don't give a shit. Wherever you want me to speak, I'll speak. So that's where I'm headed with the whole thing. This brand will be huge one day. It'll be known.
yes, it will.
And I'm super proud for the ones that are here, kind of in the beginning phase, supporting the way you do, because y'all are the ones really helping this thing take off.
Just in my short time with Scar Nation, I've let people come over and check you out. Every one of them has sent nothing but positive words back about they like your content. They like how people's open. They're not being judged and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's legit.
I mean, it goes to, I mean, the world we're living in, there's so much false information going around. It's hard to believe anything you hear from anybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want the dog's honest truth, I mean, right here is where it's at. I mean, it's,
Yep.
there ain't no bullshit, It's,
And I've heard each and every one of you say, "Oh, my story's just kind of vanilla. I don't know how much my story's going to help." There's millions of people just like you sitting out there listening to this podcast and watching right now, and I guarantee you change someone's life. They're like, "Well, hell, I'm doing the same thing. That guy could be me."
Yes,
Yeah.
And they're going to want to follow your footsteps.
Yeah. Everybody thinks their story's not that important. I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, there's people out there been through way more shit than me. But I've been through a bunch, and my story's valid. And it's, as you can see, thousands, if not millions, of people relate with it. So your story is very relatable. And there's more people out there than you think that can relate with your exact situation.
Matter of fact, on Bo and Brian's, if you look at their pages, they both got pictures of down there with them holding turkey. They both got pictures of them doing outdoorsy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are similar people. That's two people in one podcast right there that saw something that's the same here.
Yeah. And while I have the opportunity, I just want to throw this in here. While I have the opportunity, speaking of support, we got two of the people that sent me my first universes on TikTok sitting in the live right now. And I have got to publicly thank y'all for that. That was insane. That was the best birthday in the world. So thank you, Brad and Brian, for doing that for me.
Yes, sir.
Man, you deserved every bit of that and more, bro.
Yep. Won't be
I
the only one,
appreciate
brother.
all Scar Nation helping out. Yeah, I appreciate all Scar Nation standing up, throwing gifts, doing what you can do. It's all appreciated. I mean, every gift counts, no matter how big or small it is.
Man, it froze up. It froze up right at that when I was saying that, man. Did y'all hear what I said?
we got
Yeah,
we
you got
heard
it
you.
out.
Okay. I don't know why I done that, but yeah. Yeah, thank y'all, man.
Wait till I figure out how to use that TikTok. We're really about to tear it up.
What's up now?
I said,
Can't
wait till I
wait.
figure out how to use that TikTok. We're really about to tear it up.
Yeah.
It's easy once you learn it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just sitting there just
The
pushing
battles
buttons.
are fun, man. They're very fun. They're exciting as hell for me. And I think anybody in there participating or watching, you got to be able to get your mind off of what you're going through while you're watching in battles. So I know I can. I'm not thinking about shit else.
Yeah,
Yep.
get some,
Yeah, if money's one of your triggers. Yeah, if money's one of your triggers, TikTok money we're gonna spend at the plug. Buy some stars, buy some
Tyana.
coins.
because it's
Right,
fun. I mean,
Tyana. That's what I'm talking about.
it's competitive.
Yeah.
Where it's just team. Everybody's trying to work together to just smoke these people.
I love it, man. I love the team aspect. I always hate it when there's just one person. Like, it's the team aspect, man.
Last night.
It's the community showing that, hey, we're here. Scar Nation's here. We're a recovery community. We can get in these rankings too.
Yeah.
Like, we can do this too. Like, we're not broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got this shit. We can do this.
They come and knock them off their high horse. They think their life's peachy. Come in as a recovery group and just smoke them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're the only
Fun.
recovery group in the rankings. Actually, I haven't
Yeah.
seen any others.
I believe so. Like, we're definitely up there, and it's a fucking
Yeah.
honor for me to be in them rankings like that, getting noticed by people.
Yep.
To me, this is a no-brainer. It's also, like, if I'm gonna throw gifts on TikTok to anybody, why wouldn't I do it to a recovery group that's going to use it and help others in the same pinch I was in? I mean,
Something that
it's
really
easy to
helps
me.
you.
Yes, this is beneficial, life-saving stuff here. This ain't a joke.
Yeah.
You would be surprised at the people, the women, and I'm not trying to knock anybody's content niche, but you would be surprised at the women on there that just do nails or talk about their hair and get fucking
Yeah.
thousands of gifts.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, if I could take a recovery community and get up there with them and get us seen, that, I mean, shit, that's where it's at. In my
Yep.
opinion.
Yes, I mean,
That's where it's
to
at.
me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
We're
thank
gonna get
everybody
there.
that support on the battles. And if you ain't seen them, be sure to follow me on TikTok. I do the battles usually every day at 8 p.m. We have a lot of fun. But enough about the battles. Does anybody else want to ask any questions and anything like that?
Yeah, I got one. For the racing thoughts, I mean, when you start kind of getting into that drug usage stuff, trying to come out of it, I mean, your brain just, I mean, we just get totally disconnected with, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish. Your brain's just out of whack. I mean,
For sure.
I guess what you guys do?
One
Kind
thing I found that helps quite a bit, and it works for anxiety attacks and that kind of stuff, is like a grounding technique. It's you find like 3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, 1 thing you can
Yeah.
touch. Kind of like bring yourself down so you can ground yourself. Take a few big, deep cleansing breaths, like kind of put your hand on your stomach if you got it, and help engage that vagus nerve. And that'll just kind of help slow everything down. It gets the blood pumping through you, back to your brain instead of at your extremities or at your heart. And when it's just thumping like that,
of,
do that grounding technique, and it'll help you focus on something else other than holy shit, what's going on? Why is my heart beating? What am I supposed to be doing? It just kind of focuses your energy back down. That's one thing I do.
because I think a lot, and that's awesome, Diana. Because I think a lot in those moments when we get that racing brain going that bad, I mean, it's easy to turn to what you know. So you're quick to turn back to that drug of choice. So that's kind of why I brought that up, because that fucked up
Yeah,
brain
and
when she gets going.
yeah, and if you start getting those relapse thoughts bouncing around in your brain, tell somebody. Reach out and tell somebody. If it bounces
Yeah.
around in there long enough, it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
So I don't care if I'm having a bad day or something just hits me out of nowhere, sucker punches me. That thought still creeps back in. I'm like, man, fuck this. Yeah, I'm done. I just want to get high. Like,
Yeah.
nope. I'm telling someone. Heck, I'll tell my cousin. I'll message my sister. I'll call a friend. Like, man, it's a shit day. And all I can think about is getting high. What are you up to?
That's another
Get out of my
thing.
head.
Not to cut you off, but that's another thing I pride myself on about my community. I like to make it well known that you are not going to get judged in this community. We have a 0 tolerance for judgment. And the reason I do that, I don't want people to feel uncomfortable to say, hey, I relapsed, man. I need help. Or I'm about to relapse. I don't want people feeling like they're going to get judged or chastised or lose anything. That's one thing I didn't like about the rooms and shit, like the fact that you lose. Like, oh, you got to start your tags over. Fuck all that. You didn't lose shit, but it's important that you bring it up. Don't just lie about it and keep going. That's going to lead to something bad.
Because that's a
Yeah,
hard
you
that's
catch
a hard
yeah.
thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. Is once you fuck up, it's a hard to tell somebody. So to have this kind of
Yeah.
community, that we can come, people, I myself too, we can come to, and no judgment, no nothing. T keeps up with everything. She sees people razzing on people. I mean, she's shutting it down.
Yeah, I'll straight boot someone talking shit or insulting anybody or Matt's just trading 1 drag. Nah, kick rocks. You're gone. See
I
ya.
don't tolerate no bullshit or downing people like that. That's just one thing I learned really quick. That there's some recovery communities, and I won't mention any names, but there's certain ones that are just all about drama. And I was like, damn, I don't want my community to be like that at all. Like, I want people to feel loved and comfortable and able to talk about what they want to talk about. and get approached in a respectful manner by a Scar Nation member or somebody in the community without it being childish bullshit drama. So
For sure. I think, Josh, I think you mentioned it, if I believe in one of your videos, just, bashing on one person, you don't know what they're going through in that moment,
yeah,
so by putting them down in that 1 second, I mean, what road did you just put that person on? They're, who knows, they might never show back up again, trying to get help from somebody. But yeah, it's just important because we're coming out of addiction. I mean, you're sensitive. You are
emotional.
a emotional wreck. I mean, yeah, you're feeling it now.
Yeah.
I've been there a lot of
Right.
times. I know
Yeah.
Brian's on it.
He felt that.
Yeah, and I feel you. We all been through it. It gets
Hey,
better though.
I'd rather be in this spot than day 2 or 3 or 4 withdrawals or 1
Hell
or
yeah.
any of that. Hell of a deal.
Absolutely.
There you go, man.
Hey, one other thing for Brian. For me, the first 30, 60, and 90 days were the hardest to get. But the way I looked at it, I'm going to get, and I wasn't doing meetings because I was doing rehab still. So I was started going to meetings. But the first 30 days after you get your coin or whatever, then the 60, and then the 90. After that 90, like Josh said, it does start getting better
Mm-hmm.
after that 90. But I look at it, shoot for that 30, man, and then go to the 60, but one day at a time in between.
Right.
So,
Yeah, you could take positive. See, that's one thing I do like about the AANA community. The one day at a time, how they push that. I think that works. There's a lot of value to it. So don't just have your mindset on, okay, make it to 90 days. Nah, like Brad said, focus on the 30 first, and then focus on another 30, which turns into 60. Then keep that going, and then you hit 90, and then you're still one day at a time. Okay, we're gonna see if we can hit 6 months now, or
yeah.
and keep that going, and then before you know it, you look up and you're at a year.
Yep.
Yep.
But Brian,
Time goes 1 second at a time. You can only take one breath at a time. Take it one day at a time. That's all you can do.
And my downfalls was I tend to forget like what that feeling was, Brian. Like that moment, and that you almost brought me to tears earlier because it brought me right back to that rock bottom, how I was feeling, the depression, the anxiety. It's the shit's sad, man. Just stay with it. But when you get far enough down the road, don't forget this feeling. You know what I mean? Because if you do it, it's easy. You relapse and you go back down that big ass snowball again. That same
I don't
feeling's
want to go
coming
back
for you.
there.
No, nobody does. You get that same feeling, so keep that in your heart. That feeling you're feeling right now, and that'll be your driving force.
I just
blow
made
this world out of
myself
the water.
angry with it. I've made myself make me angry. That's what I've done. That's what I've tried to do. Like I'm talking about stick a serious wedge in it where I don't go back.
That's what's up, right?
I can relate. But Brian, let me tell you something.
Yep.
I actually made a video about that one time. Sometimes that anger can be a weapon for you, because a lot of times when I'm done, I get pissed off. I got to the point where I got pissed off in my addiction, and being pissed off helped me.
Yeah.
I developed this fuck this shit mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with it. I'm mad about it, and it helped me. And to be honest, it's a double-edged sword. It's a gift and a curse, because I walked around with a chip on my shoulder for a long time. People may not have saw it on social media, but I walked around angry. I didn't have good energy. People in real life, there's people out there that might tell you that dude's an asshole. Like, because I literally walked around with a chip on my shoulder, and I just had negative energy towards. I wasn't with the bullshit. I had a low tolerance for bullshit, and at the end of the day, that stemmed from me just being mad at myself for allowing an addiction to take me out again. And now, the past 6 months, I've really came back from that, and I'm a lot happier in my life. I put off better energy, but it's all a growth, man. It's all a growth process. You may have that chip on your shoulder for a while. Maybe go to therapy or something. I don't know, but it's a process at the end of the day. It's definitely a process.
Hey, I was just scanning through these notes. kind of going hand in hand with trying to welcome people to this group. You know, open arms, no bullshit. Caleb Ray, you know, he just put on there. Scar Nation gave me the sense of a family that he never have, you know, or had. I mean, that's you know that's true shit right there. You know, that gives him something to look forward to every day, probably.
It does.
Yeah, no, yeah, me too. I'm on it every day, checking in, like, how's my people doing, you know? But yeah, just happened to see that. Caleb, we're thinking of you, man. Welcome.
I feel the same way. Like I missed this live the other night. I got some friends been going through some mess calling me, and I'm helping them out, and missed this live. And like, man, I'm like, I can't. I need a daily dose of this. Like, it's good for me.
I got to go back and look at them when I can, when I miss them.
The replays, yeah, that's what I like about Facebook. You can catch the
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same, but you can still at least catch some of the value in it. But that's hearing stuff like that. Y'all just don't understand how much y'all motivate me, because it's pure evidence that it's working, that it actually is valuable to people and it's helping people. And I'm able to look in the group every day, or look on my page, maybe in the comment section, or see a comment that somebody said, "Hey man, this changed my whole day." It's like, dude, that's worth more than $1 million right there. Yeah. Like, you just changed somebody's whole. You might have just changed the course of their life with this one post. So
yeah, it used to be before I hardly even opened my eyes, my first thought was dope, or you know, smoke a pill. That was my first thought. I couldn't even sit up out of bed. But now my first thought every morning is like, oh, I better check out Scar Nation, make sure everything's going okay. You know, check their chats and make sure everybody's safe in the chats. You know, what's my first stop every morning?
Yeah,
get a coffee and check in. It's just routine.
Yeah, see, I can't even.
It is routine.
I can't even
my
take
routine.
all the credit, man. I'm just somebody that.
No, Josh, that's all you, man. Don't discredit yourself.
Definitely all you, buddy.
You started this shit.
He froze up again. We'll have to tell him all that all over again.
Yeah, we're gonna tell him.
Oh,
we would. All of us together wouldn't be here if we hadn't started that.
You catch any of that?
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that? No. Yeah, like you.
I was fixing to say, it's the community. It's the community that is valuable. The role that I play is I've been able to kind of bring a community together, which is very valuable. But it's in the community where the value lies. So
it does, Josh.
Hey,
but, man,
shout out to Sharice and Cassie too. I noticed those two.
For sure.
That's them two a lot.
Huge supporters right there, Sharice and Cassie. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to them.
Hey, we're gonna give Josh a little more flowers because it's well deserved, man. The grind. A while back, I made this little video clip from kind of day one, kind of try to put it together for Josh, just to try and give back type thing. But content's hard, you know what I mean? Like I spent a lot of time on that one little, laughable clip. There's a lot of people, but I mean, Josh, it's not just you brought this community together; it's your consistency. A lot of us addicts, I don't think we know what consistency is after you've been doing this shit for so long. We start to lose that. So by you showing up every day, I mean, it ain't, oh, I'll do this or I'll do that. You're on the grind every day for us, and it drives me personally to see somebody else day in, day out, just grinding, just going at it, trying to better their life, get to a different place. So
thank you for that.
I look at it as we were consistent on making sure we had our drug no matter what. And now we're consistent in following Scar Nation. Well, for me, that's where my consistency's gone.
Yeah, and it's in the name. That's why there's so much meaning in that name, Scar, to stay consistent and recover.
Yeah. I
appreciate y'all.
That's what got me. That name got me too, man. That name did it for me too. That's what made me like, let me check him out. I like that. Man. I like that.
Scars. Emotional, physical, whatever. But you're right.
Well, I'm going to throw it out. Go ahead.
I just want to throw it out there, man. I appreciate you for noticing that, because us content creators, and again, shout out to Matt Keegan, Benjamin Lerner, because they're consistent too, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, man. It's hard to keep up with this. It's just, I feel such an obligation to it that I can't stop, man. I have to make a show every day. I don't care how I feel. And that's why we appreciate support like what Brad does, and the big support of Brian. Tyana, all y'all, Bo, you too, man. I gotta give you. It feels so good to get some kind of, something back from all the work we put in. So, and to help the platform. So,
Yeah.
it is,
Another
man.
thing with Ben and Matt, their music, their music is
Yes,
fucking great, man. And
yes,
I listen to that shit all the time. Like, they're real dudes. That's what I like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, y'all
They're
go
just
check
like
them out.
us, but they got a talent of music too, and it's fucking great.
Man, I hope they reach Eminem status, man. I hope they blow up one day, and it's just
But
like
it wouldn't surprise me. Matt, I'll listen to Matt, and I'll be like, God damn, is that him? Nah, he's
Yeah,
so
he's good,
similar.
dude. He's
Fuck
good.
yeah, he is. It's fucking
He's
fire.
good.
And
He's got a
Ben,
real
with
talent.
his words,
Yeah,
yeah, they're both unique in their own way, and they're both fire.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. If you ain't heard Matt Keegan's music, I suggest you go listen to it. We're not just hyping him up. His music's really good. Go check it out.
Yeah. And the two of them did a song together, "The Price of Addiction." It's a great cut.
Oh
Great
yeah,
cut.
Awesome song.
Benjamin's a poet, man. The way he puts all this stuff together too. Shout out to him.
he's great. Yeah, I love it. I love both their shit.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
awesome that they
absolutely.
collab like that. I'm telling you, there's going to be a day. Y'all wait on it. We're going to do this like what we're doing right now. I want to get Benjamin and Matt on the same page.
Oh hell yeah!
And we can just
There you
talk
go.
it out, man.
There you go.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. I can't tell you when, but it's definitely on its way.
Hell yeah.
I mean, look at how many of y'all bring all three of us up in the same sentence. Like,
Yeah.
we would be doing a disservice to the community to not do that. That's how I look at it. So,
Yep.
Y'all are the big three for sure.
Yeah. I see a lot of people in all three forums that are all together. I see them.
Yeah.
I mean, I consider you guys the top 3 online content that's out there.
For sure.
That's
Man.
it. I mean,
that.
Is
that's
there
for me.
any more?
So,
to me, it's just those 3.
Yeah.
Right, y'all be sure to tag Matt, tag Ben. Ben, Matt, when you see this, let's figure it out, man. Let's make it happen.
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, we're going to make it happen for sure. So, man, it's 6:30. We did an hour and a half today. That's awesome. We got a whole hour and a half of content that we put out for people. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for taking time out of y'all's day to do this, because I guarantee you, y'all changed somebody's life with each one of y'all stories. Y'all are gonna change somebody's life with that. If anybody's got anything else they want to add before we wrap it up and get out of here, feel free.
The only thing I would have to say is that Josh just recently was able to get subscriptions on his Facebook. So if you get a chance and you got it, it's 99 cents. You pick the cheapest option that they got.
Yes.
And it all goes back into the community. Like, he doesn't just,
It helps the platform at the end of the day.
It goes back in.
It helps us grow.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what the
Definitely.
stars and everything. Anytime a platform notices that there's money being spent on a platform, I mean, they push you more into the algorithm for that. So the way I look at it, when you send stars, subscribe, you're basically putting the content more into the algorithm than it already is. But thank you for bringing that up, Tyana. I kind of forgot about that. But yes, you can now subscribe to my platform. I made it the cheapest option. I think the most expensive is $9.99 and the cheapest is 99 cents. The way I look at it, if you support what we do, you can't even buy a bag of damn chips at the vending machine for 99 cents anymore.
Yeah.
Subscribe and get you a badge and support the movement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll follow up with T. I mean, like Josh said too, we gotta blow this up. You know, we're in it to save lives. We ain't in it to. I don't see Josh in it for some clout or
Not at all.
You know what I mean? It ain't that kind of party. So tell friends, tell family. Just get them in here, and what's it gonna hurt? Just tell people, have them become part of Scar Nation, and join it, see where it gets them.
Absolutely.
For sure. We're a growing community, and we're going to keep going.
Saving lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Anybody else got anything?
Okay, cover some ground.
All right, man. Brad, thank you for coming on. Bo, thank you. Brian, Thank you, and Tyana. Thank you, man. We might do this again sometime. This was cool. This
Hell
was a
yeah.
good
Thanks for having me.
podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
sure,
Thanks,
man.
Keith.
So, what's that?
Thanks, Scar Nation.
For sure, man. Stand up, Scar Nation. Stand the fuck up, Scar Nation.
That's
Hell
it.
yeah.
And we're out of here, baby. Let's go.